working with Sensoneo solutions. So welcome and feel free to interrupt me and ask. And in the end, we are all in the same family. So let's see it as a family dinner get together. With me in the room are also the other sales representatives for the different countries. So with me is JP, also in the meeting. Jean-Pierre, mostly dealing with the Middle East countries, and he's saying hi. Any of his partners, welcome also. And also I have present Maciej Turczan is also available. So his partners also welcome. And if you have any questions for them, we can talk about it. I'm Floris Raukens. I will lead the meeting today, and I will take you along. I think I will wait until 3:05, and then I will start the meeting. Also present with us is Martin Koso, our marketing director. Hi, Martin, say hi. And he is also there to help you guys, because marketing is actually one of the important topics during the presentation today. That's why he's present. Because, as I said before, the workshop as we have now is primarily has the intention we will go slightly into the sensors itself, but it will also explain a lot about how it is to partner up with Sensoneo and what Sensoneo all does for you in order to make your sales and the product, first of all, sell successfully, but also have a good maintenance and support for this. So that's the target of this session. By the way, we will have this kind of sessions more coming. Martin is already working on a schedule. Correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, but I assume it will be around every month we will try to have one session, and the session will always focus about a certain product or software application that we have. So for now, we will start with our core product, the fill level sensor, and the next one will probably be, let's say, bin access management or route planning or any of the others. But Martin is dealing with the planning of this. So be prepared that we will try to do this every month and to update you and inform you about the latest information. Okay, I think I will start. I expected a few other to also be present, but I will start the presentation. I will share with you, as you talk, they join. Please tell me if you can all see this. Yeah. I will do it full screen. I hope that everyone can see it. I tried to give you the best quality during the presentation. Sometimes in the presentation, I will switch to my browser because I will like to take you along the applications and the knowledge base which we have. So I will switch, but for now I will stick to the PowerPoint presentation. Good. The table of contents. Why actually having a fill level sensor? That is one of the first topics we will talk about. Basically, to explain basically why there is a sensor. Because if we understand better why there is a sensor, I think we will be able to sell it in a more convenient way, and also help our clients what the solution will bring, what the sensor will bring as an added value to them. Then, similar question might sound strange to you, but why does Sensoneo actually work with resellers or distributing partners as yourself? So we will also go into this. Then I think very important, I have rounded up several successful use cases, which we have done in the past. We mainly do this to give you hopefully some inspiration where projects have been successful and where we can sell the sensors. Then I will slightly indulge in some upselling potential of the sensors, and where you can jump, if you have a client who has sensors, how you can jump into the other applications where we have to what we can offer. Then what Sensoneo does as partner support and all what we have installed and ready from the get-go to help you with the support and also with the sales marketing information. Then I will shortly indulge into the hardware itself, the sensor in this case, the same with the software. I will show the WMS. We can also log in together. And also, since it is a very small get-together, I'm also open for any questions, and I will try to answer them in the best of my capabilities. The software can be very elaborate, so maybe some things I will not be able to answer, but at least we will go through them. Then shortly, even the business model, like how is it? How can we all earn a nice euro from the sensors? And secondly, the Sensoneo family and what it consists of. Until now, any questions? Anyone? Just no? No. Good. Why is there a need for fill level sensors? And I think it's essential to get a feeling why, because if we know why, we also know what services the sensor can provide and what we can do. I summed it up in the order of priority, in my opinion. The most important reason why you need a fill level sensor is basically inefficient waste collection. If you understand that a bin has 100% volume capable of storing, temporary storing waste, it is very logical to understand that if this bin is only used, let's say 40%, 50%, basically you are losing half your storage capacity. Your efficiency of your storage capacity is only used on 50%. Now, if you have no fill level sensor, how can you know what is the fill level capacity at which you're using it? Basically, you don't know. So what the classic model does, when there was no fill level sensors, is basically just drive everywhere and collect the bins based on your routes. Now, we see in the use cases, which we will see later on, that this is very inefficient. There is a lot of capacity to be gained if you, for example, skip this bin. Yeah? Because if you see there is a bin at 30%, you know, and thanks to our software, we have even predictive volume levels. So you know that you can easily skip it today. You can even skip it tomorrow, because we predict that it will be full only in 5 days. Again, inefficient collection is the primary reason why you need fill level sensors. Inefficient in the volume of your storage containers, and secondly, and we have more suitable software solutions for that later, is also on the collection side, so the vehicle side, the trucks. Also, there's inefficiency in the emptying of bins which are not full or only used in the very low percentage. Again, the collection, the time it takes to empty this bin, if you set it against the volume of what you are collecting, it is again resulting in inefficiency. Now, we have seen many big use cases because we are supplying to a lot of cities. You will never reach 100%. But what we see in reality is very often that cities operate at 40%, 35% efficiency. Now, that is too low. We think that theoretically you should at least be able to reach 65, 70%. That being said, is that you need to know what is the fill level of your bins. Now, that is the main problem why the sensor exists, and the main problem in the market. If inefficient collection, if you don't measure, you don't know, and there is a high chance, what we see in reality, that you are inefficient. Secondly, because this is the second important aspect, what the problem is at the moment is what we call overfull bins. So if the container is full, people still come with their waste, and at the moment when they arrive at the bin, they want to dispose of their bag, their waste, but there is no capacity. They will simply place it there. They don't care that the collector has a hard time with this. You know, if you look at the picture which you see here, which is, by the way, from my home country, the Netherlands, I think, you will see that normally this truck can be emptied in about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and now, because all the bags are around, it will take 10 minutes, 20 minutes to empty this one bin. It's a big problem. I'm not saying that all the bins are like this, but when it arises, if we look back at the efficiency, this bin will delay. They will delay by 3 or 4 collections on the next bins. So it's a big problem. If you would have a fill level sensor, this bin would be emptied 3 days ago or last day when it was not yet full. Other important factors why what is the problem at the moment is capacity disbalance. So if you are placing containers, the person or the city who's placing the bins always tries to do this with their best intent, but sometimes they have a difficulty to estimate the capacity of the waste which is coming to these bins. So it's done on a theoretical model, but in reality, some areas produce maybe more glass, more paper than others. You didn't predict this. Maybe the location, the streets where the houses are placed, it's not logical, or it's not using it to full capacity. So there is a large capacity disbalance in your storage volume. Again, this is in the end also related to the first reason or the first problem, inefficiency. This also again leads to inefficiency. If in your city or your bins, the distribution or the fill level would be 100% similar or ideal, you would drive at the 80% moment, and the rest of the time you would go somewhere else. You would be very efficient. But if the capacity, again, the capacity of your bins is not balanced, you have a very, very difficult way to do it efficiently, because the bins which are filled quicker will need collection earlier, while the others maybe absolutely don't need to be collected yet, but still you need to drive, because that one bin which is full needs to be emptied, and therefore the truck needs to drive. So capacity disbalance is a big problem. Then I would like to address a problem which is occurring once in a while. It's not often, but it occurs. And also our sensors have a solution for this, or at least an alert capability. It is fire. Fire in containers is bringing problems, you know, and our sensors have a solution for this. Why now I will go into the options that we provide, how we can, for example, increase the efficiency. in the platform what we provide, you have a complete overview. In this case, it's Reykjavik in Iceland. You have a complete overview of the fill level state of your bins. And you can, with one eye, you can see which bins need to be collected. I think if you can show this to the municipality or your potential client, they will very quickly understand that this results in efficient collection. I think, let's be honest, let's say a child can see that if he only drives to the red spots, he will drive much fewer kilometers and he will just be much more efficient in his collection. Basically, this is what we are doing. So the sensor is providing the fill level, and together with the sensor, we are offering the WMS, and the WMS results into efficient collection. Later, we will shortly elaborate in something called route planning. That is where you take it to the next level, because these spots I can still grasp somehow. It starts to be already complicated, by the way. The number is already a little bit too much, but still is graspable. But if you have a full city, you need to route plan. But we'll see this later. The fill level is basically offering this service. If we come to the capacity of the bins, and also the, let's say, fill rate, the data which is in WMS accessible for all the clients is giving a really good overview of the use and the amount of waste being produced in areas, in bins, and therefore you can localize the disbalance in the capacities, but also the amount of emptyings or the time it takes to empty. In the map on the graph, you can clearly see where are the hotspots, where most of the waste, in this case, waste is being produced. So you can, with these analyzing tools, these powerful data analysis, you can start to improve on the primary problem, and that's efficiency. And the sensors are basically the start for all this efficiency gain. Then another few of the features which we kind of touched already. There is fire alert sensor. In the sensor is a fire alert detection. It basically works on temperature threshold, which is in the sensor. I think by default it's 80 degrees. So if the sensor detects a higher temperature than 80 degrees, it considers it a fire, and at that moment there is an alert coming from the sensor. So if there is fire in the container, you get an alert. Unfortunately, there's no extinguishing of the fire, but the alert is already something that you can work with and prevent fires and maybe be on time to extinguish it. GPS coordinates, also something that is in the sensor. Some containers are static, so they will not move. For these, I think it's not relevant to have the GPS coordinates. But some, for example, if we look at textile or frying oil collectors or some fractions have containers we can move. And the GPS coordinates are sometimes used as theft protection or just to make sure where my bin is located. So again, these are things that I'm trying to explain you what you could use in the sales to sell the sensor. The collection volumes itself, if you have the fill level and you know the capacity of your container, it is a very easy calculation to determine how much volume of waste is going in your container. This can be done with a sensor. So basically, the sensor is just giving you one data information. It's basically the distance between the sensor and the bottom of the waste. But through this, in combination with knowing the volume of your container, you can say, for example, there is 2 cubic meters of paper in the container. Last but not least, the pickup moments. In the whole process of waste collection, the trucks are taking a big part of the efforts, the logistic efforts in waste management. And one very important factor in the trucks is the pickup moments, like how many pickups took place in this with these trucks. The sensor has on board what we call accelerometer, combined with the data from the fill level itself. We can determine when the bin was picked up. This moment is essential because, for example, you can see your bin has been emptied this month 5 times or 20 times, or maybe once a month. And all this again leads to the primary problem we have, that is efficiency of the waste collection. Pickup moments. Any questions until now? No. Good. Means I'm doing a good job, no? Now, maybe strange to you, but for us very relevant, because we choose to work with resellers, and I want you all to know that we choose that. Why a reseller, actually? We are at Sensoneo. We are now about 120 people. We're a growing company. We're very strong. We have a lot of development going on. But we realize and we know that the local contact is always much stronger than what we are able to do. And that's why we choose to always work preferably with a reseller as yourself. So the contact in the local language, or the language which is being used in your area, in your territory, will always be preferred. But always also the fact that someone is just there, you understand? We believe that end customers, in the end, prefer to work with someone from the same city, from the same area, from the same country, than that they always need to call to either me or Mathieu or our support team. Or so that's excellent. Informed. Yeah. Tell me, JP.
Have a look at the message from Luca.
Mike, let me just ask you if you can move presentation according to your explanation. So I'm not sure if the presentation is moving.
Well, good, Mark. I hope.
Okay, then I mean, if the presentation is moving, then it's on my side. So sorry, I just.
But
we're not sure.
No,
Luca,
we're not sure. Tell me, and did anyone else? Oh, ships.
I was also stuck on the first slide, so it wasn't moving. Now I see, after some moment, the slide 7, but until then it was still just the first slide.
That's common.
Floris, it's okay. I mean, it's just that your explanation is really good. So we don't really need the pictures, but yeah.
Why did I make this presentation?
Okay.
Thanks a lot for telling me. Really, it's really good. I will then very shortly, quickly go through what you missed during my explanations. So now we are here. I will stay away with the full screen because I noticed already before sometimes it gives issues. But so everyone can now see it moving.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are at the point why a reseller. Local contact, I think, is essential. Next point is possibly as important as the local contact, and it's kind of related. That's also the maintenance level. I think we all know that our products, in some point of life, will need some maintenance. Let's say the life expectancy, for example, of a sensor should be many years, but the battery, as we all know, in some point will die out. So it's very clear that the products what we provide will need maintenance. In some point of their life, they will need maintenance. Who is going to do that? We believe that in the end, at least to coordinate it, because not everyone has the capacity, or very often, for example, countries are very large, and our reseller partners are situated in one location. So, but still, they coordinate the maintenance. But maintenance, we believe, is an important aspect of why there are resellers. And later we will see this is also a good opportunity, we believe, for the reseller to earn a good living on these products, is with the maintenance. And the last important aspect is just the sales power. We, as salespeople who are even sitting all around me, we have a lot of power, and we are smart and can do this. But in the end, the more people who are trying to sell the product, or selling the product, or doing an effort to sell the product, in the end we just have more power, more feet on the ground who do that. And that's also why we want to work with resellers. And the whole meaning of having this presentation now is actually to show you in which way we can support you in selling more products. So that's basically why we consider we want to have resellers, and why we are very delighted to have you here on the presentation and to represent Sensoneo in your territories. Now I will jump into the successful use cases. Why I do this is, again, I want to inspire you guys from the knowledge that we have and from the experience that we have in all the years that we have been operating, like where have we been successful? And by doing so, and by openly sharing this information with you, we hope that you will get inspiration, like, hey, I never thought about this. Hey, now I see an overview that this is an important market sector for us. So, successful use cases, large cities. I would say, and you see it on the numbers, this is by far the biggest chunk of where our sensors are being deployed. By the way, the numbers are going by amount of sensors, number of sensors. Doesn't mean number of accounts or number of clients. Be aware of this. Yeah? I mean, numbers are important, numbers are relevant, but it doesn't always mean that they bring the most turnover, for example. I'm just saying, because I think that some of the niches which we will later see in this list might be as useful for you guys as aiming at the big cities, because in the end, the big cities are also maybe more elaborate sales curve. But about 3/4 of all the sensors we ever deployed are in large cities, are still now in large cities. The second important group of clients are the textile containers. We have been looking into this why and how it's possible, but textile containers is the second in the list of number of sensors deployed. The third is glass containers, so glass collection. And the fourth, and you see on the numbers that it's going down quite fast, the fourth will be electronic waste collectors. So this is going from small batteries in up to fridges. We have very nice use cases for e-waste, but they are taking up 4% of the sensors. Then another very interesting, let's say, market segment is frying oil. In almost all the countries, there are specific collectors who are picking frying oil. And again, this is a very interesting niche, or part of our clients are in the frying oil. Until now, besides cities, they were all, let's say, fraction specific. Large city is geographic. Now we again come to some geographic, let's say, segregation of the market. It's highway parks places. I think we are all aware that since these bins are very remotely located, the drive to collect them is long, and therefore the need or the potential profit to use sensors in these areas is also large. This is why we segregate or we separate this specific geographic location, because it's just a strong sales case. And I would like to bring attention to this to everyone. Maybe if you didn't think about it yet, think about it. If you drive along the highway, look at the signs, who is either collecting the bins or who is owning the parking lot. Is it either government or is it outsourced to some local collector? Be aware that the sensors will earn themselves back very easily in these places, because, well, if you drive, I would say 5 kilometers with the truck, 5 kilometers with the truck, you are earning the sensor back by itself. So everything above 5, you can do the math. It's easy. A new segment which is rising, and again, maybe not everyone is thinking about it, secured document shredders. So we see more and more demand for the field level sensors within this niche. Maybe not everyone knows this market. So if you have information sensitive documents, and you want to get rid of them, there are companies who specialize in shredding these documents. Try to think about banks, maybe government institutes, anyone who has information where the paper, if it comes to the collector and gets it, might be very sensitive, what's written on the paper. Any of these clients will use document shredding. So they will collect these papers in a specific bin. And of course, this bin is maybe not filling up very fast. So to put a fill level sensor there is very logical and economically also worthwhile to do. So ask your local bank, ask your local government, like, listen, do you have this kind of bins? Maybe we can put a sensor there. Also interesting, by the way, this last one, I had to look in our database in our back office to that it came up for this presentation. It's a mailbox monitoring. So post boxes, of course, they are also working mostly with fixed routes, but now since physical post is going down, you can imagine that the postman very often comes to the mailbox and there's just nothing. We have had cases whereby the National Post Company was very interested to see if there was any post or if any collection took place, because if they would not need to drive to that remote bin, it would be a huge energy saver. Okay. I will now quickly go over the successful use cases, but just to give you a grasp, glass containers, glass collection, glass itself is a very, very nice fraction at all to monitor, because it's very stable. It's growing very slow most of the time. So the collection frequency is relatively low, and therefore also the moment to collect it, there's a lot of gain to be made. If you empty it at 30, 40, 50%, you could maybe still wait a couple of days. And if you extrapolate this on a whole month, you will just gain it back very easily. Also, glass collection is very often done with separate trucks because they cannot be compacted, for example, glass. So this isolated fraction is very interesting for fill level sensors. Separate trucks, good to measure, slow filling rate, all this makes glass successful use case. Large cities, we have one of our biggest, I think, depends on what you do. At sensors, by sensors, it's not by far not our largest, but a very nice use case at all for Sensoneo. Bratislava, it's our hometown, I would say, and we offer a full package of solutions, which you will in the next month also see more of. But in this city, we have around 1,800 sensors, but we have also Madrid, Reykjavik, Buenos Aires, and many, Prague also, many other cities who have 1,000 plus, easily 1,000 plus sensors. And in the absolute numbers, this is the biggest chunk of our successful use cases, large cities. Textile containers. By the way, I will share this presentation later with you guys, so you can all see it. I also add always the URL links of the success stories. So feel free to later, if you want to use this in your sales or in your promotion, you can take these links and add them in your social media, in your marketing plan. It's no problem. That's why I add them here. Textile containers. Also, textile itself is a valuable fraction. The filling rate is relatively low, and therefore there's a lot of gain to be made in the collection if you, let's say, delay it a couple of days, or if you're able to predict the fill rate better. Yeah. So again, slow filling rate combined with larger distance to drive between containers and a high valuable fraction to be collected. This is the parameters which make sure that sensors are being used a lot. Then e-waste, very important fraction. We have in a very nice use case with ASECO in Slovakia and Czech Republic, and now also in Poland, we are working with these guys. In total, I think in Czech Republic and Slovakia, they have 22,000 collection points, from which a large part have sensors, not all of them, but a large part. This is a very nice use case also. Then again, coming to this document shredding, we added this success story also online, so you can use this with your potential clients. But it's very interesting. Again, there's a high value of the waste, because this is a critical paper. It should not be treated as regular paper, but really must be shredded. And again, the fill rate is relatively low. So to know when it's full is very relevant for the end client. Now I will slowly go. So these were the success stories. Some of these cases already have more products from us than just the fill level sensor. So I will slowly now show you 4 upsell potential cases for sensors. Why I tell you this is because we see that a lot of sensors are sold, and then we would think like, now it's time to start to use, for example, route planning or asset management or factory waste management. So this is the upselling potential. And I will quickly go over them. Asset management. Asset management is basically just all the bins will be given an overview in our WMS platform. Again, coming to the large cities, we see that these large cities, most of the use cases, they have big chunk of their bins in our asset management portfolio, from which several of them, a lot of them have sensors. Yeah? So the asset management itself is a product to be sold separately. Lockneo. Lockneo is specially designed to have a user-friendly interface for what we call bin access management. So it's locking on containers. We see that clients who have sensors, in some point, they have often bins which need to be locked up. And so we have a BAM, we call it, bin access management locks for this available. Now, route planning. For me and to most of the clients I try to talk to, I think this is almost like a no-brainer. As soon as you have, I would say, at least 100 sensors, could be earlier, But if you have 100 or more sensors, it is very, very logical to also offer them route planning. Because although it might look easy to plan the truck collection based on the WMS data of the field levels, if you have a software application, not only to manage the routes, but also to help your drivers navigate between these bins and manage the collection, it's again bringing a lot of extra value to the sensor and for the client to improve the efficiency. Last upselling potential is something we call factory or facility waste management. It's the youngest brainchild in our company, and actually it's where we use our knowledge and experience what we build up at municipalities in the outside world, and we basically incorporate it in facilities, factories, offices, shopping malls, in large interior surroundings, whereby we base everything on the floor plan. And on this floor plan, we give an overview of the bins, including sensors or other hardware input devices. And counting from this input of the fill level of the bins, we again start routing, collecting data, weighing options, facility waste management or factory waste management. Again, upselling potential. Then a product which basically you get for free with a sensor and basically attached to the WMS. But for me, it is kind of an extra product. It's the data analysis, or just the gathering of all the data and bringing it in a clear overview to the clients. It's just data analysis. So what to do with all the data the system is gathering. And it's incorporated, by the way, in the WMS. If you buy one sensor, you already get this. If you buy 100, it starts to be really valuable data analysis. Now, I will take a drink. Are there any questions until now? Because I think I'm going over this in a smooth and fast way, but please, if there's any questions, interrupt me. No? Otherwise, I will continue in the same way. Okay. What is actually Sensoneo doing and offering for you as a partner to support the product and support you with your sales? I think this is two things which I would like to express many times during this presentation. We want to support you in the product, and so that it works well, the client is happy, but also it is our intention to basically make you sell more. Because if you sell more, it's good for us and it's good for everyone. So what do we do to help you? I think most of you already know about what we call knowledge base, but I would like to draw a little bit extra attention to this again, because we have updated this in the last year quite extensively. My very valued colleague Gabika, she took a lot of time to clean up the knowledge base and add all the documents or available documents we have and add it in this knowledge base. So I would like to put a little bit of extra attention to it. I don't know if anyone already using the knowledge base. Is it being used?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Shall I, during this presentation, shall I log in the knowledge base so that we can? I will stop sharing the presentation, and I will, for a second, if I can go back to my screen. Yes. And I will log in the knowledge base just so that everyone understands the importance and how it works. Mathieu, is it visible? How the, yes? So basically it works as such. If you don't have access to the knowledge base, as you see here, problem, either reset your password, or if you have not access to the knowledge base, either ask your account guy, account manager, or you can simply press new registration and you can request. In the end, we will get a validation for it, whether you are allowed to be in or not. So this is an isolated area, but basically we allow all clients to have access to the knowledge base. And if I remember my password, I did, luckily, we're able to get into the knowledge base. The knowledge base, as I said, was reorganized by Gabika, and she did a really good job, in my opinion. It incorporates actually all the information that we would like to share with you, and that being the following items, which you can see on the left side. All the products that we have, being hardware or software, and everything what is related to these two categories. Then we have data sheets, very simple data sheets, installation guides, user manuals, product certifications, also something especially for tenders very useful. There is even payload description, troubleshooting guides, technical stuff, like in general, whatever might be needed. And now we come to a section which was recently updated and added into the knowledge base. It's called the marketing section. I will quickly go into this because I think in the presentation, if I'm correct, I also addressed something about it. So in the marketing, for example, we recently added the bin access management, so the electronic locking as a video. It was added in the marketing section, and also here is the marketing package. I will later come to this, but so this is all in the knowledge base. Sometimes, because I also had sometimes partners asking like, whoa, this information is quite elaborate, should we share this with the client? I would like to ask you, take this with your own experience and knowledge, whether you should share it with the client. Sometimes I think you can overload the client with information. Some of the information that you will find here on the knowledge base is very elaborate. Even I sometimes don't understand what's written there.
Very
honestly.
technical, for example.
It's very technical. Yeah, exactly.
And less is more.
Often, yes. I am sales, and we are here all sales. Sometimes you can just confuse by giving too much information, and it's not needed. But since you are our partners, we would like to very openly just share with you everything what we have. Not everything, but in very detailed depth. So please, in the knowledge base, you will be finding like payload descriptions. I'm just taking one. Honestly, and as you see, this is about different products, Quattro, single sensor. But if you would go into this, you will see that it's really quite elaborate. Go ahead, Jay.
Did you tell them how they can log in if they have their password and their?
Yes.
Sorry, I was out.
Yeah. I explained.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So by the way, everything you can read online or you can download as a PDF. So it's very user friendly. Honestly, I work with this. Sometimes the layout of documents can be a little bit disrupted, but please inform us and we will look into it. So as I was saying, it can be very detailed, but also can be just pure overview, like the data sheets. As you also see, we try to put it at least in Slovak and English. any languages, anything will be up here. And this is all digitally uploaded, so it's updated, uploaded. So please, if you need anything, go to the knowledge base, have a look if it's there. I assume that very often it will be there. If it's not, you can always ask us. But we try to centralize this information in the knowledge base. And we do this especially for you as a reseller, so that you can quicker answer questions and come give feedback about the product, so that you don't need to wait for, let's say, me to give an answer to the mail, or, you know. Good. Knowledge base. I will, because I already know how the presentation will look, I will share, since we are now in the knowledge base, there is one thing I will immediately share with you, and that's marketing. So I will, in my head, jump to the next. Marketing. As I already mentioned, one very important aspect of the knowledge base, if you go to marketing, and it's here, I hope you can see it. So it's on the left, it's almost in the bottom, marketing. And then if you press it, there is the third item is marketing package. And I really recommend everyone, if you haven't done so, we have individually tried to send this to you, but if you have not yet, download this marketing package. This is the 2023. It is still very actual, and of course the updates will come here also in the knowledge base. But here you will have a full package of all the materials we have available for you to show your clients, to put on your website, to use. If you would like to use Sensoneo as your the logo, for example, or the letter type, or the fonts, or everything will be in this package. If it's not there, let us know, and we will make sure that next year it will be there. But please, this marketing package is very important. Also, what I like is videos and webinars. Just for your information, this video, I assume, will also come here. So after the presentation, if you want to come back to the video itself, it will also be visible here in the knowledge base. And so this is also a good place. We see that the factory waste management demos that we have was also shown here. Good. Knowledge base. I will stop sharing. By the way, I'm looking at the time. I will also speed up. Yeah, I need to speed up. You're right. It's not my good. Going back to the presentation. So knowledge base, but speeding up, I think we're still on track. Everyone can see the slides now moving, yeah? Still, I think. So the marketing material, just to inform you, this is how it will look if you download this zip file. Here is the marketing information. So we have animations which can be shown on your website or presented, longer videos, one-pagers for if you go to an exhibition or a fair, pictures which can be used, sensors, shorter videos, again, useful pictures and visual information, and then some, let's say, graphical information about Sensoneo. And the last one is also very relevant. It's the sales deck. It's a complete Sensoneo sales deck available for you if you have presentations or pitches at your leads or clients. Again, the link is upstairs. And then I would like to give extra attention to Martin Kosak, who is our marketing director. Sorry, guru. Yes, sorry. Yeah. I'm getting old-fashioned. So he's our marketing guru, formerly known as director, but I call him guru. So no, JP calls him guru. Martin, very nice guy, very, very professional. But I will give you, so you have his direct email information. If there's anything you would like to talk to him about, please do so. He's very open to think together with you. As I mentioned in the beginning, believe us, it is our intention to, together with you, make sure that the product is received in the best way at the clients. So, and that goes to marketing material as well. I'm thinking about language translations, maybe specific brochures, or you would like to incorporate parts of our brochure in yours, or any question, go to Martin, ask him whether it's possible, and you will see he's really skillful in helping you achieve just the best result. And I've seen in many of let's say, cases where I had to ask him things that very soon there was help. Then when we're at the point of introducing people from Sensoneo to you, there are, and where's my presentation? Am I actually sharing? Yeah. So the next slide, yeah, okay. The next slide, which I think of two people who I would like to introduce to you, who are very important, and I'm mostly speaking from my own experience. So please ask, correct, or say anything, but I am talking out of my own experience. We as salespeople, we try to help you, but I know that our knowledge and our capacity is also limited. Sometimes we think it's not, but in all honesty, it is. So then, very often, if there's any technical issues or questions about setup or installation, we have a team of people who is really ready to help you on this. And these two people I would like to bring to your attention a little bit extra. I think a lot of you already know them, but the head of support is Nicole, and she is already quite long with the company, and I can assure you she is really skilled and knowledgeable on this level. And a new guy who recently came to us to help Nicole is Martin. He's also, by the way, they all speak English, really no problem. I don't know about other languages, but yeah, of course, Slovak, but English is really no problem, so don't worry about that. So they will help you, and if there's any case about any of the Sensoneo products, I would like to ask you at least also or only send an email to support@sensoneo.com. I cannot express it often enough. Please CC me or any of your other contacts in it. No problem. I would even say it's better, but make sure that support gets the question and the ticket. And that's important for Sensoneo. It's in the end, they will anyway be the ones to answer the question, be it through, let's say, us, and us being me or the other sales guys. But in the end, the question will be answered by support. So, but we need it for just tracking and managing the support in a better way. So if there's any issues, send it to support. You can CC us, but these guys will help you. And even if it's really escalating, you can pull my ear or contact support directly. One last thing I would like to add, and I'm giving you a couple of examples. Sometimes we get the question, does in this case, the access control or the sensor, does it fit in this container? I would like to show you these examples and just explain you how we can help you. If you have 3D models or if you have detailed pictures of the situation from your client, please share it with us. And then I mean just me, JP, Mate, Thomas, share it with us. And we have quite knowledge and overview of what is a good position of the sensor, how to mount it, do we need a mounting bracket? Is it possible to use the hardware in this application? So really, we are here to help you to make sure that the project is going smooth and well. Yeah? So I would like to address this and point out to which level we can help you with this. And by the way, the examples you see here are very detailed. Doesn't always need to be like this, but if you doubt, just ask us and we can help you. Now I will actually go into the part which we call hardware. I do this just to explain you a little bit what we are talking about. By the way, Martin worked on some great new marketing material and aesthetic representation of our products. Here you already see the first show of this. Later, a lot of our, let's say, documentation will go in this direction, but so that you already know what we're talking about. What I will show you is basically the unique key features of our sensors. Please ask any questions, but this is an overview of where I think that we have strong cases, besides that we are basically the best sensor producer in the world. Even on paper, we have very strong cases, and here I have an overview of some of them. First of all, unique, and I cannot stress it often enough. Our sensor is IP69 watertight casing, approved, certified. Guys, I am an engineer from let's say education, and I can tell you there is no one on the market who has this, and there is no one, if there is a tender, if you have a project where you feel you need to compete, there is no one who can do this on this level. The reason for this is that we developed the sensor on our own. This is our own long time development, and I can tell you from the basic principle, from the core of the design, this was in the back of their minds. There's no openings, there's no holes where water can get in. The whole design is done in such a way that we're able to achieve this IP69 certification and clarification. Again, no one on the market has it. If you feel that you need to compete, please use this argument and express to the client that this is a relevant certification or a relevant criteria that our sensors comply to, and the rest doesn't. For anyone who doesn't know what it means, it's basically how watertight is your product. And IP69, I can assure you it's not even reached by Apple with the iPhones or by a lot of products, even if you have garden lights or electricity boxes which are placed in the garden, they don't reach this level. JP, believe me, they don't reach this level. So I cannot stress this enough. Go to the market, convince everyone that if you need a watertight box, take ours, and you will sell ours compared to the others. Most reliable data. Why I say this? Again, I am comparing. No, I'm using arguments like what is unique with our sensors and why our sensors should be the ones that your client buys. We are using a transmitter and a receiver sensor, ultrasonic, so two. The reason for this is that one is sending the pulse, the other one is receiving the pulse. Now, if you, for example, would use one, which is of course cheaper, honestly, it doesn't know when it's sending or receiving, and it will get what we call infiltration or wrong readings. So the most reliable data is from our ultrasonic level sensors coming. Again, a unique feature is the temperature range at which the sensors can operate. It's going from -30 to up to 80 degrees. Very, very large temperature range. And why is this? Is because we are operating really worldwide. We have cases from the north Norway up to the Middle East. JP can vouch for this. And believe me, in a container in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, temperatures can really go up. So you need to be close to this 80 plus, and from Norway to this -30. And our sensors are capable to do this. We have proven cases of this, so it's not just on paper, but we can show it. Also, the battery. We work with lithium thionyl chloride batteries, technical description, but basically these are the best batteries on the market. 3.6 volt and 2600 milliampere capacity. They look like pen lights, but actually they are pen lights on steroids. So so it is, if you see them, they look like a normal one which you put in your Walkman or your Discman, but they are not. They are the very good capacity. That being said, you could replace them with normal batteries as long as you have the 3.7 volt, 3.6 volt.
And they are produced in EU and developed for us specifically.
They are specifically, yes. Thank you, JP. So they are specifically developed for us, and
In EU, produced
in the EU, yes. So yeah, so that's a very important part of the sensor, and we have this also from a very reliable source, and just the best battery in the market. Then some unique features we have, as you probably all know, we have a V3 and a V5 sensor. I would just like to point out some key benefits from the V3. The V3 main strength is that they operate. They are also able to operate on LoRaWAN network or Sigfox. Unfortunately, the 5 does not, but the V3 can do that. And the single sensor 5 has two unique features. It can be optionally equipped with a GPS, so this is the global positioning system, and it has the FOTA, so the firmware update over the air possibilities. So that's with the V5. Personally, I always try to offer the V5 since I believe it is the most versatile sensor.
and the newest one with the newest hardware.
Newest hardware, newest update, but of course, everything that is the best also costs a bit more. Yes, but I think if you sell in the large quantities, you will see it's only a bit more, and it's worthwhile.
And the main important thing is it has a firmware upgrade. They can upgrade the firmware. With
Yeah.
the SSV3, they cannot upgrade firmware.
Yes,
So that's
JP likes to upgrade a lot, so but he is absolutely right. I think most of you have quite a technical background. So the V5, you're able to upgrade the firmware through the air, which means that if any technology change or anything needs to be updated on the sensor, with the V5, you can do that remotely through the air. With the V3, you cannot. You can only physically go to the sensor and what we call flash the firmware. So with the J-Link, that's really not so difficult to do. But if remote means you need to drive and go, we all understand that that's quite complicated. I have news for you guys. It's already been coming around and running around a couple of times, but now we are really piloting with a new version. And I have the primary and the scoop to show you here among the preferred distributors is the radar sensor. It's coming, guys, and it will be soon. I would like to give you a final date, but honestly, the R&D hasn't released the green light yet. But I have some cases under my own accounts, let's say, and it's really coming. It's really a matter of fine-tuning and optimizing the sensor, but it's coming and it will be available for everyone openly soon. Key advantage of the radar, I can tell you, is basically that it doesn't need to have a clear line of sight of the waste, but you can basically place it outside of the bin and it can indicate the fill level of the container or the content of waste, or, for example, fuel tanks, septic tanks, frying oil, liquids. Basically, for liquids, it's very strong sensor. Coming soon. Good. Software. I think, honestly speaking, I'm just looking over the presentation. It will, yes, software, WMS. What I would like to do, I think you are all aware of the WMS. I will quickly go over it. I would like to keep a little bit of time for talks or discussion, so I will go quickly now. Basically, WMS is a very good, it gives you overview of each bin. So here in the picture, you can see the flow rate of a bin and the filling rate. It's very good. And it can do the same, and that will be the next slide. It can do the same for the overview of your city, containers, clients, and up to the point of the containers itself. WMS is always included in, let's say, if you buy one sensor, you already get it. It's in there. So that's the WMS. One thing I would like to stress out, especially for you as the reseller, first of all, we have also updated the sign-in procedure for the WMS. So it's now all email-based. Before it was user name-based, but now every email can is the base for logging into WMS, and you need a password. Now, if you in the past had a client who had access to the WMS, but they don't anymore, we migrated all the accounts into the new system. So basically the email which they had in the past, because the WMS did require to set up with an email, this email address is used as the email address. So if they put the forgot password, for example, it will send them a new email with a password and they can get into the WMS. And basically, if you have any issues about it, you can ask us always and we will help you. But this is something that happened, I think 2 months ago, 1 month ago. The URL, the address of the WMS is basically wms.sensoneo.com. So anyone who goes there will see this login place. For resellers, I also stress out and point out, you are able to make accounts for your clients in the WMS without the interference of us. You can do it really yourself, and you can allocate containers and stands to that account of your client. So guys, you're able to do this yourself. And I recommend you to do this because you will have insight and an overview of all your clients' accounts through your own account. Yeah, so you will have like the master key and all your accounts will be under it. You can also add users as your client. You can add users to their accounts. You can remove users. You can allocate roles to them. So the WMS is really set up for resellers to use as their platform to onboard your own clients. Yeah, I stress this out because I think it's a very important added asset to the WMS and for you guys as a reseller. So this is WMS. Later, I think that maybe there will even be a webshop or a workshop specifically for WMS. I will not elaborate on this, but it's available for every sensor. Now, last but not least, how do we earn money on this? Basically, there's money to be earned in 2 moments. That's CAPEX and OPEX. CAPEX is, by the way, the upfront investment if you buy something. OPEX is the operational costs of any product. And the business model is as such that we see that in most projects, the sales price of a sensor is between 100 and 200 euros. And there is a percentage of this sales value is being possible to be earned by the reseller. But the most important, and we believe the most interesting part of the business model, what we provide to you, is the variable cost. So this is the monthly fees, being data or access to the WMS. And then very important aspect where also we believe that your business model will need to comply to or think about how to do that, and we advise you to find a solution for this, is the maintenance and the support. As I already mentioned before, we know that these products are, let's say, higher maintenance products. I will just openly say how it is. Batteries can deplete. Sometimes there are also technical issues. Communication can be problematic. And hell, it's even possible that there are issues. By the way, JP wants to really say me something.
We are not facing something that our competitors are not facing even in a greater extent. So this is something which happens with technology.
Exactly.
It is not limited to the how is the device good. It's about the limitation of the battery, of how many times it has to hook up to the system. So it's not a sign of weakness. It's just like the technology is like that. This is very important to say. I don't know if they heard me.
Yeah, so I will repeat or summarize a little bit. JP is basically saying that it's a high maintenance product. It's not as if we have it, the competitors don't have it. Actually, I think they have it even more. But I think this is an aspect in which we all, Sensoneo, but also the reseller, we should just openly communicate with clients, with the world, like, guys, listen, these products have a very small chance that without any maintenance will still operate in 10 years. If you want to use this sensor for 10 years, which the sensor is capable of doing, it means a couple of times there will have been the need to maintain it. No, I have not seen one car which doesn't need an oil change, which doesn't need the batteries or the tires to be changed. It's just part of the product. And I'm saying it like this because I feel that we're shooting ourselves often in the foot by not saying this and by not using this, you know? So maybe it sounds a little bit dramatic. It actually isn't, because it's an opportunity. But I think that we should be honest with the product, and with also making sure the product is being served well in the market. Maintenance and support. I advise yearly maintenance, battery service, and some troubleshooting. JP also would like to add some.
First of all, a visual maintenance is like to look at if something is not blocking because of the residues, you know. And secondly, the battery can be shown on our WMS or on the platform,
Yes.
if it's depleting or not. So it doesn't mean that it will have to be, something has to be done with it. It's just like for the safety.
Yeah, but guys, batteries last long time. But you can
2-3 years.
You can sell it to your client as a service, as a business model. Good. Installation and training, service and calibration, battery watch, troubleshooting. All these things can be seen as maintenance, and you can add abonnements or monthly fees or possibilities to do this. Here I have given an overview of how this would look. If you're interested in this later, we can elaborate on this, and we can share this Excel whereby you can make a calculation. But basically, we we are aware that we are all in this to make an honest and good living. So we are counting with that everyone needs to earn on. That's about it. I would like to, as last, say that the whole Sensoneo family is here for you to help sales and support and get the products in the market. Good. I will try to go back to my presentation. Now I will leave a little bit of time. We still have 8 minutes left. I see that there are quite some guests available. Is there any guest anyone who would like to ask something?
I think you should also mention that our part in the technology is one thing, but in order for the whole system to work, you need a good coverage of the network, which nobody is talking about.
Yes, that JP is right. So a very important aspect of the sensor, but I think all of you being partners know, is that the connectivity is a very, very relevant aspect in the product and in the sensor. So connectivity needs to be good. Connectivity needs to be there. So this is an important.
There needs to be a survey specifically in new development areas, like where the connectivity is working and where it's not working. Otherwise,
if you are able to do that, guys, try to get an overview of the connectivity within your territory. And JP is very, very right that this is very important aspect of the sensor. If it's not communicating or contacting well, it will not work well. So please survey and investigate about connectivity. This is something that Sensoneo itself has a very hard way to really get the facts about. So I think that's more on you guys. Good. Any questions? Now is your time to ask them.
don't be shy.
And don't be shy. I think the silence says enough.
Are you awake?
I was no. It means I was good. No, JP, we did a good job.
Yeah.
Good.
Tell them not to hesitate to send to us emails.
Yes.
And maybe you can.
Guys, we are all here ready for you. Sensoneo has set up the sales channel that we have a few salespeople covering the territories. In a nutshell, I think you all know who is your sales representative.
If not, they can go
let's
to the
say
website.
that the northwest will be done by me. Europe related, that is. The east south will be done by Matej, and JP is there to answer all the questions from the Middle East. I see some of his partners are also there. So please don't hesitate to ask us anything. Log into the knowledge base. If you have any questions about marketing material, whatever, contact us, and please go out there and sell these sensors. Okay, I would like to thank you all for coming, and looking forward to see your questions and beautiful projects coming for your areas. And as I said, we are here to build and elaborate on the network. So in a few weeks, I assume it will be next month, there will be a next session like this. Okay, thank you all for your time, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Floris.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the good information.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.